Good evening. I'm Dr. Christine Mahoney, and I'm Superintendent of the East Granby Public Schools. Welcome to the 2015-2016 edition of our Your Schools program. As we did last year, this year we will be featuring each of our schools as well as sharing with you some very interesting information about some of the additional programs that we are offering in our East Granby Public Schools. To begin our segment today, we are speaking with Mr. Dave Peling, who is the principal of East Granby High School. Welcome, Dave, to our program.
Thank you, Dr. Mahoney.
Great. Dave, perhaps you can begin by telling our community about the beginning of school. You know, we are already 5 months into the school year, and so maybe you can just share with them some of the great things that have happened so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've had an excellent start to the school year. We started out with our parent orientation back in August, and including a separate night for the freshmen. It was very well attended. School more or less started without any problems. It was a very smooth, quiet opening, which of course we're really grateful for. The athletic programs got an early start. They started the last Saturday in August. We had both the soccer and boys and girls, and the cross-country teams got a great start. Some of the highlights of the fall have included we had the bonfire about a month ago. We had soccer under the lights, which was very well attended, and for the first time, I think, in East Granby history, both teams won on that particular night. And another highlight from the fall was we've had, I think, one dance so far, which was very well attended. And lastly, we had the veterans come in on Veterans Day. And we had about 30 veterans who came in and shared their stories with the students, which was, you know, as a former social studies teacher, it's a tremendous opportunity for the kids to hear history firsthand from the people who made history. Mm-hmm. So, you know, as I've said, you know, between the athletics and the programs at the school, I think we've had a real strong start to the school year.
Great. So, Dave, the program that you offered for our veterans on Veterans Day, or the day prior to Veterans Day, is really an important program for our community because it brings our community members into the school so that they can see and experience some of what our students are doing. So talk to me a little bit more about, you know, what the veterans were able to do during the course of the day. I recall being there for part of that program and really enjoying having some conversations with individual veterans. So just tell us a little bit more about the program that you had that day.
Okay. They come in the morning. They're there. One of them sets up his motorcycle right outside the opening or the main entrance to the school, because there's a group of veterans that works with other veterans, and it's part of their organization. So they have a presence in our school all day long. And around 9 o'clock or so, we have about a 45-minute assembly where the veterans get up and we show them a short film talking about the role of the veterans and give the veterans a chance to be introduced to both the middle school and the high school. Okay. And afterwards, the veterans then went over to the library where, through the students' social studies classes, they cycled through the library and each had an opportunity to interview a veteran and kind of get their story, so to speak. And, you know, some of them, we have veterans of Iwo Jima who actually, you know, fought in World War II, and they're now about 90 years old. And it's just an awesome opportunity for our students to meet these guys and hear their stories, all the way up to Gulf War and veterans from Afghanistan and Iraq conflicts more recently, and everybody in between. Lots of Vietnam veterans. So it's a real important experience for our students, and I think it's just, I don't know, I think it's a wonderful opportunity for both sides. You know.
Great.
Yeah.
And I know I enjoyed the program in the auditorium. You had the band performing and the choir performing, the chorus, and I think your foods and nutrition classes also did some food prep and served lunch. Yes.
Yes, they did.
To the veterans. And again, that's a wonderful way to show how much our students just really embrace our veterans and our community at large. That's a great program. Thank you for that. Thank you for continuing.
Of course.
Now, there was a program in each of the schools as well, so we had veterans all over our schools that particular week, and that's something we hope to continue.
Right.
I know that when you came back in the fall, you also came back to some really great news around the results of the state testing that was done in the spring. You care to say a sentence or two about how our students did, both on that test and the advanced placement test?
Right. Well, on the state assessments, we did very well. We were, at the very top of our demographic resource group, our DERG schools, the schools that we compare typically at East Granby, and well above the state average as well. So we were excited about those results, and I think that it just speaks to the seriousness of purpose that both our faculty and our students kind of embraced that exam and went after it.
Yes.
And that's kind of the way we do things at East Granby.
Great.
And as far as the AP, the number of students that took the test and the number that passed the test have really hit new highs. So about 70% of the senior class this year took at least one AP exam and passed it.
Mm-hmm.
And that even ultimately helped get us a national recognition where we made Newsweek's top 500 high schools.
Awesome. And how about on the SAT test?
Right. Again, the SATs were, I'm not sure if they were the strongest ever, but I think they were the strongest in recent memory. And so in 2 of the 3 categories, we were 11th in the state out of 169 high schools, which is really quite remarkable for a school of our size. And secondly, and then I think in the 3rd category we were 22nd. So just a very strong cohort of kids who came through and really knocked the ball out of the ballpark, so to speak.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to the
Thank you.
students and the faculty,
Yeah.
administrators and staff and our tutors and intervention specialists who work diligently with our students. Great work. Absolutely great work. So Dave, you have a very unique program at East Granby High School, and it is one that is the result of a phenomenal partnership with our Asnuntuck Community College partners as well as our East Granby manufacturers, and it's our 5th-year program in advanced manufacturing technologies that our students are very fortunate to be able to participate in, and if they perform as expected, and I say as expected because we have high expectations for our students, but if they perform as expected, they can do an additional year, a 5th year, and earn an associate's degree. And so tell us a little bit about, where we are this year with that program and how things are moving along.
Right. Well, as you know, we now have, 2 years of advanced manufacturing, which is, this is our 3rd year of our program.
Mm-hmm.
And we have students enrolled in both the 1st year and the 2nd year. A number of them go up to Asnuntuck every day in the afternoon and take the advanced manufacturing classes up there as well. We've arranged field trips for these students to go out and visit local manufacturers. I think this fall they're going to go to CBS Manufacturing, and in the spring we're looking to possibly get them to go downstate, possibly to like the electric boat submarine or something equivalent of like that. And these field trips are really important because they kind of get the students the opportunity to see the practical applied application of what they're learning in school and see what the new manufacturing environment is like, which is very different from the manufacturing floor that most of us associate with the turn of the century mill. And I'm reminded of the ad right now. There's an ad on TV where the kid comes home and announces he's going to go work for GE, and his father hands him a sledgehammer, and he's like, no, you don't understand. I'm going to be doing computer programming.
Right.
And that's really the new reality of manufacturing.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. And just before Thanksgiving, we had one of our former students graduated last year, enlisted in the Navy, who contacted one of the instructors that he had both at Asnantec and one who is with us this year, and shared with her that he has this very unique role that's been assigned to him in the Navy, doing nuclear engineering,
Right.
and he's actually learning some of the same things that we taught to him, or that the instructors from Asnantec taught to him in the fifth-year program. So I think in so many ways that validates the work that we are doing, and the fact that what we are seeking to engage our students in learning is very important to them as they look at careers in the 21st century and the developments in technology in this era. So the program obviously is very viable, it's strong, it's growing. We've had a number of meetings, as you well know, and we recently had our advisory board program for the fall.
Yes, we
And
did.
at that point, we were able to talk about our progress in the program, but also to share that our model is expanding, and that there are two other school districts that from this region that have joined Asnantec in this program, but also that the program has reached to the southern part of the state in Fairfield County and in Bridgeport and some of the other towns
That's
in
right.
Fairfield in that county. So it's a growing program, and it's doing very well, and our
Yep.
students are enjoying the program. Dave, also in the high school this year, there are some really unique efforts underway to really engage students in using our technology for learning. They're using it as a tool for learning. They're using it as a tool to create, a tool to innovate, and really to help them deepen their understanding of academic concepts and really gain more skills. So can you talk just a little bit about that, Dave, maybe starting with what's happening in our library media
Right.
center?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we've really only begun to explore all the different ways that we can use the technologies that are evolving and all the new software platforms. But some of the exciting things that I think that we're doing right now, for example, in the library, we now have a 3D printer. And so some of the students that are working on a project are effectively building a robot. Piece by piece, and they're printing each piece, and other than the motors, which they have to purchase, they have a robot, and so right now the robot's head is all completed, and they're starting to work downward. And it's a very exciting project, because every day you go in and you see a different piece being worked on, and I think the students are very excited about this project. In the classrooms, what we see are teachers using technology in a variety of ways, for instructional purposes, for assessment purposes, and we see the students doing the same thing. So one of the things that technology allows us to do now that we couldn't have done as easily, say, a decade ago, is to collaborate.
Absolutely.
So students can work on a project. They don't have to be in the same time or space. So say students from period 2 want to work with students from period 7, a couple of sections of history or something, they could work on a project together, or an English class and a history class could work on a project. Ultimately, it's not unlike in the real world, where people from a company in San Francisco might be simultaneously working with somebody in Chicago and Shanghai. So it's the same fundamental premise.
Yes.
And a third way that we're using technology is to sort of personalize instruction. So in some disciplines, it's possible for students to go in and move through the curriculum, through the content, to develop the skills at their pace. And this is the idea of kind of adaptive learning, and there are now software programs that allow students to do that. And that's, I really think, going to become a powerful part of education in the future, where if a student, for instance, could move through an algebra curriculum in 6 months instead of 10 through the assistance of a computer-adapted program, they might be allowed to do that. And then they could move on to the more advanced material faster. And some other student might need a year to complete the same amount of work. And then we also use it to check for student understanding, which is a real fundamental part of instruction. You teach something, you want to check and make sure the students are getting it. There's endless ways now that we can use technology, both laptops and other kind of platforms, to just kind of check in with the students, see what they're understanding, and then adapt and change our instruction as we need to. So collaboration, creativity, adaption, there's just really endless ways. And
So, Dave, I can attest to many of the elements you just spoke about, but it is also an observation that we've made that this is the same approach and same level of effort that we see in our other schools as well, in the middle school and in both of our elementary schools, where our students are really embracing the technology and are using it in very creative ways to really enhance their learning. So again, thanks to our incredible technology staff and as well as our teachers who have really, really engaged in learning new apps, new software, really learning how to take that technology that is available to them and to really get students to embrace learning, but also to understand that the technology is a tool that can help them to continue to learn no matter where they are. So it's learning that is not bound by time, learning that is not bound by space, and it certainly is giving them the opportunity to pursue things that are of real interest to them. So that's a really great thing. Right. Dave, what else is new at the high school for this year?
Well, we have a couple of new programs that we've put in place this year. For example, we now have the IB program. The IB program is the International Baccalaureate. It's based out of New York City. It is a internationally recognized college-level program, and it's a little bit how would I put it? It's intense in the sense that it's online and it's definitely college level. So that's been a learning experience for some of our students, and the students can earn college credit the same way you would in, say, the advanced placement program, but it's spread out over 2 years. Okay. So there are some real opportunities here for us to extend the curriculum or to extend our program of studies and maybe offer a few classes online through the IB program that we wouldn't be able to otherwise offer. So,
and that's wonderful because that allows us to really help to personalize our students' learning experience. And the fact that we are doing this online program through an IB school that's located in New York gives us some proximity. And so even though it is an international program, we are not feeling like we are millions of miles away from the hub of the International Baccalaureate or agency, but rather that we do have access and connectivity, if you will, with schools that are closer to us. We also, through the IB program, offer courses that are not offered in East Granby. So again, this is giving us an opportunity to extend learning in subject areas that are of interest to our students and finally giving them an opportunity to pursue those. A little bit more. What else is?
So another new program is we are now developing a program where students can experience field experiences, and this is when they're going to go out and explore and observe careers, so to develop a greater in-depth understanding of potential career opportunities. And we think that this is a very important experience for students to have before they graduate. And I know that many adults would, wish that they had had that kind of opportunity to have that deeper understanding of what it is they thought they wanted to do when they were 17, and and see what that real world is really like, and how the things that we're learning, the skills that we're learning at East Granby High School, kind of apply to the actual world. And then another sort of somewhat related program is the new Capstone program. And the Capstone project is going to be a graduation requirement starting with the class of 2018. And effectively the idea is that students are going to research a project in great depth. They're going to have a complementary field experience. So imagine that a student is interested in, say, oceans. So they might go work with a fisherman or an oceanographer or somebody working in some capacity, all right, related to the idea that they're interested in, and then having completed their 30 hours of field experience during their senior year, they would then follow up with some more research and ultimately produce a paper along with some kind of presentation, a summative presentation that they would then present to some of their teachers and administrator, invite some family and friends to come in for an evening. So there's a kind of a wrap of the application of all that they've learned, through their education to that point in East Granby schools, along with the field experience and that final senior year of research, and of course the presentation skills. And then the last new initiative we have up at the high school is we've now started the FBLA. All right, these are the Future Business Leaders of America, which is an organization to help aspiring business students develop, again, a deeper understanding of entrepreneurship and fundraising and all of the business-related skills. And this club is actually already taken off. They've got projects, they've got lots of ideas, they've been in to meet with me, and I think we can expect to see big things from them in the future.
So you also have going on in the business department a revamping of the curriculum. For example, you have 2 new articulated courses with Asnanta Community College, correct?
Right.
You have entrepreneurship, and you also have a macroeconomics
That's
course,
right? Yeah.
right? And I also was very pleased to read that the students who are enrolled in the leadership course are helping to do some surveys throughout the school on various topics or issues, and it's cross-curricular. So, they are able, students in this class are able to pursue projects and do surveys right there within the school and help to gather the information to inform some decision-making about things that we may want to consider offering in the school. So,
That's right.
Yeah, great.
Yep. Yeah, we're looking forward to those results.
Awesome. Do you want to say a little bit more about the purpose of the most recent survey?
Right. So basically, we're looking at offering a potential summer school, and here at East Granby. And so, as part of their project, what the students are doing is surveying the entire student body to see what kind of courses they would like to see offered, either as enrichment courses or extensions of existing programs. And again, so it'll kind of give us feedback both as we're preparing our program of studies for next year during the regular course, and then also thinking about the potential of offering some courses during the summer.
And the students and parents would be responsible for paying the fee for the summer class.
That's right.
Good.
Yep.
And so a student who enrolls in a course during the summertime may use that course for enrichment and for perhaps remediation, making up
Yep.
courses that they did not invest well
Right.
in during the regular school year.
And this will become important because as you know, the state is raising the number of credits that's going to be required for each student. So this might make it a little bit more manageable for students if they were to, catch up or make up a credit during the summer.
Exactly. And what's also important is that, as a small school district, that opportunity during the summer would enable students to leave some room in their schedule during the regular school year to really pursue some other courses that they need, that are required for graduation, or other courses that are of interest to them, that they really want to go a little deeper into it before they take off for college or work and pursue that area. So
Right.
that I think is important for us as a school community and as a community at large, that we start to think about how we can create other opportunities for our students outside of the regular school year. That would be a unique opportunity to offer some courses that we don't
Right.
generally offer in our program of studies even, because that opens doors for students as well.
exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, Dave, what I'm hearing from you is, as we're engaging in this conversation, is that you have a very vibrant school program that is engaging students in all kinds of unique ways, and that's, you know, one of the beautiful things about being in a small district is that you have this capacity to work closely with students and really help them to customize their learning experience and really open doors for them. And, you know, as a superintendent, I can tell you that it's really important that we continue as a school district to try to find ways to create opportunities for our students by working with our own community and also working with our partners, whether it's higher education, such as Nantucket Community College, or with our manufacturers or other businesses in our area. So,
Right.
thank you, Dave.
Okay. Well,
That was very informative, and
Great.
it was a great discussion. And you know, as a part of the leadership team, we will continue to work really hard to make sure that our community really can feel very, very, very proud of the schools that are here, and that we are continuing to do the best job that we possibly can with the resources that we have, and then some.
Great.
So thank you, Dave.
Yeah, thanks for having
Appreciate
me.
it. It was great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good
Wonderful.
talking with you.
Thank you.
And that concludes our first segment of our 2015-2016 Your Schools program. Next segment will be aired shortly, and we will be featuring another one of our schools. Thank you very much, and have a great day.